Good evening and welcome to the Bison Information Network News. I'm Hannah Schlosser.
And I'm James Porter. A former West Fargo school teacher's license has been suspended after alcohol was found in her classroom. Allegations from a student and a parent about the teacher partying with students launched an investigation. Elizabeth Doster has officially had her teaching license suspended for 5 years after an internal investigation found that she had given alcohol to minors and had alcohol in her classroom. The board's decision required Doster to go to treatment and take an ethics course, and Doster could be reinstated by the board if she completes the requirements.
Looking for an easy job during the school year and over the summer? NDSU is currently looking for applicants for the orientation leaders. Orientation leaders are expected to attend a class for an hour each week during the spring semester. During the summer orientation, leaders lead the freshmen during their orientation days and will be the first faces that they see. Pay is starting at $9.50 per hour, and classes during the year are paid for. For more information on becoming an NDSU orientation leader, visit the Student Success Program page at ndsu.edu.
Most famous for their bi-weekly dances, a staple of North Dakota for many decades, is no more. Bison Information Network reporter Lydia Crackle has more on how locals are remembering Arthur's Barn.
Since the fire that left Arthur's Barn completely destroyed, a void is not only left in people's hearts, but also their dancing shoes.
The first barn dance that I went to was when I learned how to swing dance. That's pretty much the only place where I actually can swing dance.
Although 40 minutes away, the miles from Fargo to Arthur, North Dakota couldn't keep the locals away.
It's kind of a tradition in my family. My parents actually went when they went to school at NDSU too, so it's been a really big tradition.
Serving as a getaway for students after long weeks of classes.
All the tension of the week, like you could feel it when it started at the beginning of the night, and then all of a sudden once about 10:30 hit, it was just relaxed and just awesome.
Creating memories along the way.
And it's just really fun with the live music and the workers there are dancing and just having a good time. It's just like almost out of a movie.
Some even experiencing some of life's greatest milestones there.
That was where I got engaged, so that meant a lot to me. So I met my fiance there, and that's why it meant so much to me, because it came full circle.
And although locals had different reasons for attending, they can all agree on one thing.
I'm really hoping that they get to rebuild.
I'm ultimately hoping that they will be able to rebuild and resume having the barn dances there.
I hope that people come together for their event and they get enough money to rebuild even to their dream.
Reporting for the Bison Information Network, this is Lydia Crackle.
The owners of Arthur's Barn have set up a GoFundMe page in hopes of rebuilding. You can donate to the cause on that site or at any Bremer Bank location.
A reminder to everyone that there are no classes tomorrow, Friday, November 10th, in honor of Veterans Day.
Coming up after the break, a new way to get connected on campus, and we will let you know when you have to be out of your dorm for Thanksgiving.
After this week's 7-day forecast.
NDSU is ushering out Blackboard Group and welcoming in My NDSU. The new program will be easier to use and provides more personalization for clubs and organizations. These groups can assign roles that are specific to their purpose versus picking from a limited list. It also allows all NDSU students to view clubs and get in contact with their officers. Along with being able to view clubs, the My NDSU website also shows many events going on around campus.
Log in, agree to the usage agreement, and then go in and you can search your organizations that you're part of and join them. You can go, there's a calendar feature, so you can go to the calendar and see everything that's coming up within the next month. You can look up things by your interest area, so if you're looking for religious events or cultural events or special interests, you can search by that. You can search by if there's free stuff or free food, so those kind of perks, or you can search by date.
To view the MyNDSU website, you can go to myndsu.ndsu.edu. From there, you can then log on using the same information as your Blackboard account.
In Saudi Arabia, 610 billion euros were seized and nearly 60 people were arrested as part of a crackdown on corruption. Among the arrested include royalty, some of the business elite, and government officials. To put it into perspective, 610 billion euros is about 600 billion US dollars. The heir to the throne was looking to move Saudi Arabia into the modern era by eliminating the dependency on oil. Currently, there have been 1,700 bank accounts frozen in an attempt to determine the extent of this suspected corruption. This number is expected to climb as more investigation is done.
NDSU campus and dorms will be closed for Thanksgiving break. If you are planning to stay on campus over Thanksgiving break, you must request break housing. Break housing will cost students $14 a night. The deadline to request this housing is November 17th. Any applications for break housing after this date will result in a $25 fee.
Some major changes, Songs of the Gridiron and the Dutch Destroyer.
Stay with us for all that and more after the break.
Changing majors during your college career is often inevitable, and students change for various reasons, but how many actually do? With all college life has to offer, changing interests, unexpected courses, and exciting opportunities can often lead students to change their majors.
70% of people switch their majors.
I would say 30%.
I have no idea. I've heard a decent amount do either just something mechanical to civil engineering, like closer disciplines, or not usually too drastic.
About 40%.
I would say like 75% of students switch their major at NDSU.
I think sometimes students get really hung up that major always equals exactly what you'll be doing for your career in life, when really it's your coursework, it's your skills, it's your experience that can oftentimes open the door for many different types of careers, regardless of what your major is. So if we're thinking about usually our first year students, about half of them will change majors at some point in their first year.
If you have questions about your major, the Advising Center in Morrill Hall is open for questions and concerns through either an appointment or walk-in.
The Gold Star Marching Band will be performing Songs of the Gridiron this Sunday at the Fargo Dome. This event will showcase the band's pregame show as well as some select numbers from their halftime shows. This event is free for all NDSU students and will begin at 2 in the Fargo Dome. The Bison football team will have some extra support this Saturday with the family of Lukas Kusters set to attend the game against South Dakota. Kusters, otherwise known as the Dutch Destroyer, had ties to NDSU through Carson Wentz, who granted Lukas's wish through the Make-A-Wish Foundation, following Kusters' stomach cancer diagnosis. Since Kusters' death in June, Wentz wears the rubber wristband he received from Lukas every day, according to ESPN. Lukas's family will fly from Wilmington, Delaware to Fargo in order to watch the Bison play live for the first time. You can purchase Dutch Destroyer bracelets at livelikelukas.org.
When we come back, sports reporter Eric Bunnell joins us.
What do you got for us, Eric?
Well, you know, the Custer family, nice little touching gesture from people in Fargo and attending that big football game this weekend. We'll have that and more when we come back. The North Dakota State Bison football team hit the road this past weekend to take on South Dakota State Jackrabbits. This is the 5th top 25 matchup of the season and the 3rd straight on the road. Here you see beautiful Dana J. Dykehouse Stadium where the Bison and Jackrabbits got set to do battle. Taryn Christian, his pocket is wide open as he finds Jacob Brown easily for a 4-yard touchdown pass. The Jackrabbits were up 7-0 early on in the first quarter. Here late in the first quarter, Easton Stick finds Connor Wentz, Mr. Reliable, for a 4-yard touchdown pass. Game was tied at 7 at this point. Late in the first half, Taryn Christian as a 1-yard touchdown run as the Jackrabbits would take a 17-7 lead into the break. Here you see early on in the third quarter, Easton Stick finds Ty Brooks right up the middle, right up the seam for a Bison would trail 17-14. Jalen Wimbush here recovers the muff punt as the Bison would go on to score on this Easton Stick 11-yard touchdown run. However, that was not enough as the Jackrabbits would go on to win 33-21, and they take the Dakota marker for the 2nd straight year.
I mean, it sucks losing and losing to a rival team and stuff like that. But at the end of the day, goal of winning a conference championship is, still in our hands, and we'll just get back to work on Monday and continue to get better.
The Bison will be welcoming their 3rd top 25 opponent to the Fargo Dome this season, and this will be their 5th straight top 25 matchup in a row. This matchup will feature the top offense against the top defense. The Coyotes have the second highest scoring offense, averaging 36 points per game, while Code Green is only giving up 16 points per game. The Coyotes are averaging just over 500 yards of total offense throughout league play, while the Bison defense is only allowing 277 yards in league play. With only 2 games left in the Missouri Valley Conference schedule, the regular season conference championship is far from being secured. North Dakota State is in first place all by itself with a 5-1 conference record and 8-1 overall. Right behind them, it's a logjam for second place with 4 teams with a 4-2 record. South Dakota State, and Illinois State and Northern Iowa are all tied for second. If North Dakota State can defeat South Dakota this weekend, it will clinch a share of its 7th straight Missouri Valley Conference title. Head over to the Benson Bunker Fieldhouse for senior day to see Erica Gelzanita and her mom. It's the first time her mom there. And she gets the kill right away as the Bison would go up. We're up 5 early on in the first set. However, the Mastodons will battle back as Elizabeth Fierce and Natalie Seller get the block. Brianna Rasmussen gets the tip kill. The Bison would go on to win the first set, but drop the second set. Here in the fourth set, Brianna Rasmussen gets another tip kill. The Bison would trail by 3, however. Here, as you see, Rasmussen and Erickson teaming up for the block in the fourth set. In the fifth set, Mackenzie Burke gets the service ace as it just goes over the tape as the Bison would go on to win 3-2. Jessica Jorgensen led the way with 16 kills and 4 blocks. The Bison are now 16-8, 7-5. They have a key two-match weekend with Omaha and Western Illinois. With only 2 games left before the Summit League tournament, the battle for the top spot is coming down to the end. Oral Roberts and Denver are currently tied atop the standings. South Dakota is in 3rd place, just 2 games ahead of North Dakota State. Omaha is only 1 game behind North Dakota State and has a key matchup on Sunday afternoon with the Bison. Fort Wayne is currently the 6th seed, and they need to win out to make the tournament. The Summit League tournament is scheduled to begin November 17th through the 19th in Denver, Colorado. The snow is flying, which means it's time for college basketball season to kick off. The North Dakota State men's basketball team will kick off their season on the road at UC Santa Barbara on Friday night and then on Sunday night at 10th-ranked USC. The last time the Bison and the Gauchos met was back in 2010 at a neutral site. The Bison defeated the Gauchos 68-60, and the last time they met the Trojans, USC defeated them in 2008 by the final score of 61-57 at the Galen Center in 2008. The Herd will be without senior guard A.J. Jacobson as he has an injured ankle. After an 81-56 win in an exhibition game to start the season over Minnesota Morris, the North Dakota State women's basketball team will be kicking off the season this Friday night at home against Mayville State. They will look to improve upon their 6-24 record from a year ago. They will have their first 4 games of the season at home before they hit the road on Thanksgiving weekend. The Bison may be a young team, but that does not change their expectations for the season. You guys going to go to that big Bison game this weekend?
Well, I unfortunately didn't get tickets this time, but I will definitely be watching the game at home.
I'll have to catch it because of the loss last weekend for Bison Nation. That was kind of a hard one to take.
You know, after their loss, they're outscoring their opponents by 24 points in the last 10 years. So
it'll be a good one.
It'll be a good one,
right.
And you're going to watch 2 high-powered offenses go at it. So.
All right, thanks, Eric. When we come back, we're going to have this week's Bison on the Street. Midterms week is finally over with, and all the stress and the rush that comes with it. As usual, finals will be on the doorstep before you know it.
Heading towards a new semester, the Bison shared how their exams went and their opinion about the best ways to study for the coming finals.
My midterms went really well. I'm a senior this year, so I've been doing it for a couple years. My advice for any freshman would be not to wait till the night before.
Don't assume that just because the professor said something isn't on the final doesn't mean it won't be.
My midterms went very well, actually, better than I expected.
Don't wait till the night before to study, or else you'll be up all night.
Attend all the classes and avoid teaching classes. Don't put off studying, even if it's just a little bit every night.
It kind of feels like they haven't stopped since the beginning of the semester.
Do the syllabus and all the instructions for the midterm.
Take advantage of the library. It's actually super cool.
Like maybe go to ACE tutoring or get a study group together. Studying in advance.
Studied for a long time, but I still don't think they went that well. Put in the time early. Don't wait until the last second.
Thank you for watching this edition of Bison Information Network News.
If you have news that you would like to see on our channel, email our news director at bin.ndsu@gmail.com.
Be sure to check us out at Facebook and Twitter, and have a great night.